This is the first video that I'm making, so hopefully this is also the worst video that I'm making, because the only way is up from here, I would hope. I think once you get very established into a routine, it's really easy for the days to begin to just fly by. Like, to me, the year already just began, and we're already more than halfway through February now. And it's dawned on me that I haven't done much in the first month and a half. Even more so because I set myself the intention this year to dabble in some more creative pursuits. And videography, capturing moments, especially on trips, pictures, that sort of stuff has always been something I've been quite fond of. I guess to some extent just chronicling my adventures has always been something I've quite enjoyed doing. But something I've come to realize is that even whilst doing all of that, I was capturing a lot of the external world around me, a lot of what I was seeing, a lot of what I was hearing, a lot of the people I was with, which is all well and good, and I've really enjoyed doing that. I guess I never really captured in those moments what I was thinking about or how I was feeling. And I think a lot of that is becoming increasingly more important, I find, in trying to remember moments. I'm trying to adopt more of a just get started attitude with these things. It becomes all too easy to just get caught up in the little bits and bobs of maybe I need this, maybe I should wait for this, and losing the point of just getting started and seeing what you can make of it. And I think that's part of the fun of doing anything creative, is just being able to work with the materials that you have in front of you. But again, the thing with a creative pursuit, or just doing anything that doesn't have a right or wrong answer, is that you have no bearing, you have no direction. You can kind of just do whatever you want. And I think a lot of times for me that's significantly more intimidating than having a right or wrong answer. Because when you're wrong and you're doing something, you get quite a lot of immediate feedback and you can just work on it from there. Whereas this way, doing this, I can sort of take it anywhere I want to. So far I've let curiosity drive a lot of the pursuits I've taken part in. And it's the old adage, 20 years from now you're going to be much more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did do, that drive me. And I think about it a lot before I'm about to do anything. But in situations like this, it doesn't always work. And it got me thinking, how does someone go about actually getting started with anything? Where does the activation energy come from? And I think it varies greatly on context. It varies greatly on where you are in life and what's going on around you. I have tried numerous times in my life to journal, to try and reflect on why I do specific things and how I've justified doing things before. But a lot of times I fall short of that because it's not a habit I can keep up with very easily. I find it very mundane and just quite boring, to be honest, to just write. It's not really something I've been fond of. But on the other hand, this notion of a commonplace book, a place where you jot down your ideas, your philosophy, conversations you've had, quotes you've found throughout life, things you've watched, has always been something I've taken part in to some extent. And it's not necessarily been written down. Sometimes it might just be on a Word document. I might put a few quotes from a book that I've read, or I even used to make WhatsApp groups, and it would just be me inside them, and I would post links to videos that I found quite interesting or that I'd want to watch for future reference. But in earnest, I have not gone through them as much as I thought I would. Now, I've been doing this for a few years now, the whole documenting things on Word documents, even with the notes on my phone and various other platforms, but it's never something I've reflected on that significantly. I might go through it once a month maybe, but I feel like sometimes you just need a little bit more introspection to keep you going. During the initial lockdown back in 2020, I was going through a bit of a self-help phase where I was reading a lot of Stoic philosophy and just philosophy in general, a lot of personal development books and that sort of stuff, waking up at 5 a.m, all that shaz. And one of the quotes that really stuck out to me and that I remember quite fondly is, "The unexamined life is not worth living." I believe it was by Socrates. And as I was going through some of those notes that I made all those years ago before recording this video, that one really stood out to me because it's something I'm trying to do right now. And even though I wrote down that quote 4 years ago now, I've done very little to act on it. And I think that's partly why I've chosen to pursue this sort of format, where I can just sit and perhaps talk to myself and others about some of the thoughts that I'm having, or that I've had, and conversations that I'm having, or that I've had, or just interesting things that I've picked up as I go about my day. So this is in fact the manifestation of those two ideas. The ability to get introspective and the ability to dabble in something a bit more creative, I think has brought me to this point where I'm sat here in some woodland talking into a camera, and it's quite nice. I don't know if you could hear the birds, but it's a very peaceful setting for sure. It has taken me a few weeks to get to the stage. I had a couple of hurdles, audio related, lighting. I just wanted somewhat of good weather before I started this. It's the 15th of February that I'm recording this, so hopefully it's not too long after that it actually gets uploaded. I think my ambition for this is just approaching it with a bit of equanimity, to not seeing it as a big hurdle or a big task, but just a series of small little speed bumps that I have to cross every time I have to get myself out there, get myself out the door, get myself recording on this tripod with the microphone. I see it as a bunch of small tasks that when I aggregate them, I can probably, hopefully, produce something that I can be proud of. And by virtue of that, I hope I can tackle some of the creative urges that I've had and keep the days just a bit more dynamic. Life isn't short, we just waste a lot of it. And so that's why I think we should just do things. We should experiment, we should just try things out, we should see how they go, and not worry too much about the outcome, and just enjoy the process of just getting out the door and just finding yourself in peculiar situations that you've never done before. I've never talked in front of a camera for so many minutes before, just by myself, and I'm quite liking it. So in any case, I hope this goes well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.